Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Crash Ball number 9. Can't believe it's already been 9 episodes, and here we are. And with many thanks to Nathan Taylor for joining me today. Thank you for your time, Nathan. Just to highlight the quality of the squad that we managed to assemble for Crash Ball. 8 people are flying all over the world and in Teberga, and Nate is presenting award shows and I don't know what else. So thank you so much, and welcome everybody. Welcome, Nathan. How have you been?
Yes, Ozzy, the Ozmaster. Good day to you. As you mentioned, 9 episodes. It's been wonderful. We all have covered the Rugby World Cup, so yeah, looking forward to this one. And yeah, so how was your week, by the way?
You don't want to know. I haven't had such a hectic one in a while, so I'm very happy to be here today and to be able to present this show for our listeners out there. And thank you once again for all the support. We can see that the numbers are growing, so we're very thankful for that. We do appreciate it. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you know when and to go live on Saturday night at 9 o'clock if we can find a second voice. So we'll see. We'll do our best to bring you the coverage of that game. So let's get straight into it. Well, bite there. This is if the game against France was one of the best Springbok performances of all time, this one is probably the best comeback of the time.
Yeah.
What did you think as you were watching?
I just think that before the game, we predicted that it was going to be at South Africa was going to win the Springboks, but man, England obviously had other ideas for the Springboks, and I think for yourself and for myself as well, it was really nail-biting. It went right down to the end. I think it's in the 78th minute. And it was nice to see guys who weren't involved in the original 33-man squad for the Springboks, Andre Pollard, coming in and obviously performing and winning it for the guys. Obviously, let's not forget about Oxenchair as well. Remember, I'll take it back to the Tonga game, Otto. Remember, I spoke about the impact of Oxenchair against Tonga when he was scrumming against Big Ben. And not many people were talking about that. So again, we just saw how what his role or his impact for the Springboks, especially at scrum time, and he performed for the Boks, and we were able to get that penalty in the 77th minute, and then in the 8th minute a kick by Andre Pollard. So overall, it was a good game. I think the bench did bring us back to win a game against England. So yeah, it's going to be another tussle this weekend again.
Yeah. And at 15-6, I thought that we had our fill, and we'll be playing tonight, which is the second place playoff. But in the end, the Springboks came through. The weather played a big part. I think that's something that maybe we certainly did up that topic, that it would be raining in Paris, and that would sort of left out. They came so so very happy to be in the final. This is going to be a big one. Before we get to that, quickly, the leaderboard, not much has changed over there. I'm stuck in the middle, so big ups to the leaderboard there. The top 3, anybody can still take it. And so it'll probably be up to the number 3 and 4 spots there to see if they can maybe, go in for a crazy score, an upset or something, and get those final points. So thanks everybody for your support there. So here we go, the final. And it's the second time that we'll play New Zealand World Cup final. And this time, it's pretty much the same as it was in 95. It's New Zealand's favorite tag. What do you reckon? Bookmakers certainly seem to think that.
Sure.
Kiwis one.
Yeah, I think for me. Yeah, I think for me, I think we established that the Boks do like to have that underdog tag, and they're very comfortable with it. They like to play like their walls against the backs against the wall, so they're very comfortable with the underdog tag. They've been with that like that right throughout the World Cup. Considering we played against Scotland and Ireland, and everyone said we're predicting that most people in the world were predicting that. Ireland or New Zealand or France will make it to the final. Not many people will give us credit for it. I understand because the way that the Springboks are playing and the way that it's not an attractive rugby, but we play rugby that wins games. It's very unique. So I understand why people are against the way the Springboks are playing. So yeah, as you mentioned, our old foe, the All Blacks, it's going to be a very good game. It's going to be raining. Same thing, I think it was against England. It was raining as well. So maybe that's the reason why they went 7-1 split on the bench. But I mean, we'll go through that later on. But yeah, so 95 beat them. So I just hope that they perhaps can be a flight over with the airplane on Saturday. Interesting to see that. Yeah, it's just a bit of history. We beat them 95 and this in World Cups. 99, I think we beat them as well. 2003, we got given a hiding. 29-9. 2007, we didn't play them. 2011, 2015. Yeah, 2015, we lost to them in the quarterfinal, I think. Yeah, quarterfinal. 2019, we lost to them in the pool stages, and now we meet them in the final. So, yeah, I think it's, as for the last 10 years, it has been tight. I think it's 50-50. We did have a bit of a stumbling block when Alistair Coetzee was a coach. I think it was 2 years before Rassie and Jock were in. Just a bit of a stumble there, but again, we did pull it back nicely. So it's honestly going to go down to the last movement, I think. But yeah, we can't really predict much. But it's going to be a good game, nevertheless.
Yeah, hopefully not. For the sake of all the people with heart conditions that are Springbok fans, it will be the third week in a row that the Springboks make us wait until the 80th minute to see what the outcome of the game will be. Probably. That would be my prediction as well. It's not the same. This New Zealand team has grown in stature since we beat them in the warm-up. So that's nothing to go by. They've just been shifting gears, and I think they're probably peaking right at the exact correct moment in this tournament. So well done to their coaching staff as well. So let's have a look at the Springbok team to face them. Just quickly run through it here with the front rows the same. The locks are the same as last week. Well, the entire forward pack is the same as last week. And then Faf de Klerk and Andre Pollard replacing Manie Libbok and MOBSRANG. And then the rest of the back line is also the same. So a little bit of continuity there. So the same team that finished the game against England will start the final against New Zealand. So not much to talk about there. Just feel a bit sorry for Manie Libbok because he's not even on the bench. It's a 7-1 split. It's a 7-1 split, and it makes sense to me now that you mentioned the weather conditions. So where the Springboks, I read on a few of the news sites that that was probably a bit of a mistake by the Springboks to play running rugby, to play a more free-spirited game, you could say, in rainy conditions. And it looks like this time around they're going for the strong forward dominance and setting up platform there in the wet weather in Paris, and hoping that the weather can neutralize a bit of the New Zealand flair, because this New Zealand team can score from anywhere. You miss one tackle and they score 2 tries. So what do you think about the selection on the bench? Probably the best 23 given the 7-1 split.
Sure. Just for on my 23, I think I would have gone with Jasper Visser to start. Then Dwayne move him to the bench. 7-1 is a bit bold, but again, it is a calculated risk. Reason being because we have tested the 7-1 split before, and it was against New Zealand at Twickenham, and we got a good result there, a good outcome. So it is a calculated risk from the Springboks behalf. 7-1. So it's obviously a forwards dominated game. We obviously it's evident. Everyone knows in the world exactly how the Springboks play, just how the other team matches up to it. So I think I would have started with Jasper Visser at 8, and then Dwayne, just bring him on the last 20 minutes. And then you'll have Dion Fourie, you'll have Dwayne Famila and Kwacha, breakdown specialists. So just in order for us to get the ball, then obviously get a penalty and then kick it for Paul's 3 points in latter parts in the game. So hopefully it can be tight, but again, we don't know how they'll look to approach the game. Villeroux, the only backline player on the bench. It was spoken about at the press conference during the week in the team announcement when Jock was there with Siya Kolisi. They were asked him just the reasoning behind it. So as I mentioned, it was obviously the rain played a factor, and the Mane Lebok and Kobus Reinach, yes, they are wonderful players. We all know this. Unfortunately, they missed out. Reason because of the weather conditions, as we both spoke about. So unfortunately, they missed out. So in those conditions, it would be ideal to have Andre and Faf de Klerk, because they understand the conditions and the most experienced halfback pairing that we have currently at the moment for the Springboks. So Villeroux will cover fullback and fly off. Just touching back on the starting lineup, Cheslin Colby can cover scrum off. Hunter can cover 12. If Faf goes down, Cheslin goes in. If Hunter goes down, Damon Williamson goes in at 10. Then Villeroux at fullback. Cheslin Colby, if he gets injured, then they will shift Cheslin Kriel to the wing, or even Villeroux. If Damon Delaney Damon Williamson goes in at 12, Villeroux goes to the back, 13. Damon Delende goes to 13, then Damon Willemse goes at 12, or 100 Pollard. Other wing, same situation as Jason Colby, fullback, just straight drop with Villeroux. So they have gone through all the scenarios. They have been training all these different scenarios at training since the beginning of the season, actually, with the training camps in Pretoria. So it's not something that they're not used to. They've been doing it for a long period of time. And Marco van Staden was asked this question as well. When did he start training to be a hooker or throwing the line out? And he mentioned it was in the alignment camps he's been throwing in. So again, for myself, I cannot admit to this because I have seen it. But again, it's a good team. We see a change as well in the front row. Trevor Nyakane comes in for Vincent Koch. Reason being because Vincent Koch didn't train on Monday. So they have a policy, if you don't train on Monday, and then unfortunately you'll miss out. So Vincent Koch unfortunately misses out. So again, for me, that's not a big loss. Trevor Nyakane has been there before. Unfortunately, 4 years ago he missed out due to an ankle injury. So maybe this one is for him 100%. So again, just looking at the heights of the front row, it's equal heights. So I think they'll be able to get underneath the All Blacks front row. All Blacks front row are put very tall. Tyro Lomax is close to 1.9. So again, just tall props. So I think it will work into our favor, in my opinion, because I have played in the forwards in the front row for a good part of my rugby career. So I think it's going to be a very good game. And it's nice to see that John Klein and Agnes Snyman are partnering again on the bench. Those two playing for Munster and So John Klein, interesting story. So he obviously from Cape Town, or played for the Stormers, went to Munster, played for Ireland 2019, and then unfortunately didn't feature again. So he'll be the first Irish player to feature first Irish player basically to feature in the final. So
in a World Cup final. Interesting one.
Yeah.
So he also used the heritage laws that they brought in, that World Rugby brought in. If you're confused about that, so what they did was I'm not sure when this happened, because a lot of the smaller teams, Tonga, Samoa, and Ireland as well, I think, have a few players that came back after playing international rugby for other countries, so you're now allowed to switch your allegiance if you have a cap for a country that you weren't born in. You can go back and play for the country that you were born in. Have some heritage, some lineage. And just looking at this bench, yes, go.
Yeah, sorry, just before we move on from the Springboks, I just need to give a bit of narrative as well. I think you must remember 2019, there was that thing of let the main thing stay the main thing. Remember when Rassie started introducing that for the team, initial stage of the World Cup? Don't be sidetracked about anything else, but just let the main thing say the main thing, which was to win and play rugby and perform for the badge. And then the narrative changed from that to now for South Africa. And we've heard from Bongi say in the game continuously to the guys for South Africa. So I think Rassie, we have to applaud Rassie and his the management, including Jock, Stick, Dion Fourie, Don Newman, and Felix Jones, that they were able to bring these guys together and put everything aside, all the egos aside, and they came together for a common goal, and we see all the rewards, all the success from it. So it's wonderful to see. So we know that a lot of guys are going to be leaving after this World Cup. So it hasn't been confirmed yet. The only person who's confirmed is Jock Nunoba. He's going to be going to Leinster. Rassie is just rumors that he'll be going away as well. Felix Jones, this other assistant coach, who is not from South Africa, but has been in the system for 6 years, is leaving. So the only people remaining are Don Newman, Dion Davids, and Mzanile Stick. And a few players as well that again haven't been confirmed. We assume Dwayne Vermeulen, Dion Fourie, anyone else that Villeroux, I'm assuming, might retire internationally after the game. So a few guys will be playing the last game for the Springboks.
Yeah, and then in the rest of the squad, probably a guy like MOBSRANG as well. I'm not sure how old he is, but he's also been around for Yonks. Faf de Klerk also coming to the end probably of his international career. And just looking at the bench before we move on to the New Zealand team, Kwagga Smith could be a backline replacement as well. Being a sevens player, he's got the skills to do that. So a bit worried. I was a bit worried about the backline replacements, but as you mentioned, all those combinations make sense. And because you've got Damian Willemse and Cheslin Colby on the field that can swap and change in those critical positions, number 9 and number 10 specifically. And then, of course, Willie Leroux also wing or fullback, and Jesse Kriel also wing, fullback, center. Kwagga Smith can probably fit into the back line if he needs to. So not too worried anymore, but we'll see what the tactics are, how they play out when they're going to bring on placements, if it's going to be the traditional 50, 60 minutes and change, or probably, if I were the coach, I would probably wait until 55, 60 minutes just to make sure that I haven't got some other injury situation that I need to swap out for. So, thanks for all those insights, Nathan. This is why I can't do the podcast alone. So here we go with the New Zealand team. This is a formidable side. So three Barretts and some other Oaks. They've been phenomenal against Argentina. I was surprised with that result. We'll talk a little bit about the semi-finals, the other semi-final anyway. So no real weaknesses in this team. These are quality players, top quality players in all facets, in every kind of tactic. They can play the grinding forward based game. They can play the expansive backline. And looking at the bench for the first time, I can't really say that the South African bench looks more experienced or looks to shade the opposition bench a little bit. This bench looks as formidable as the starting 15.
100%. And just touching on the New Zealand side, nothing much has changed. Stock standard, nothing, no surprises there. Just a few key guys that we should be watching out for. Walt Jordan arguably has been having the year of his life. He has been nominated as Player of the Year. They will be announcing the winners on Sunday at the Opera in Paris. Got the invitation for that, so pretty cool. And Burden Barrett's coming to the end of his career. We can see he's starting to get a bit tired there, but it's nice having Damien McKenzie who can cover 10 at fullback. Just in the front row, again, as I mentioned, Tyro Lomax, Ethan de Groot are a bit on the taller side. Tyro Lomax, as I mentioned, 1.9. So it's really nice to see how Stephen Kitsoff can get underneath him, even with Ox, if he does come on early, get underneath the props. Sam Whitelock, he will probably be an all-time great for the All Blacks and around the world. Playing his last game, I'm assuming for the All Blacks. So yeah, it's going to be a good game. I was just wondering how the hookers were going to be, because they had Cody Taylor, they had Dan Cole and Samson Tokiao. Samson Tokiao is a very good scrummager, so I knew they had to put him in somewhere. And Cody Taylor was their primary hooker. So unfortunately, Dan Coles misses out. He will be retiring at the end of this World Cup. The coach I think he made a mistake there. Ian Foster of Fozzie.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
Fozzie's been through. Fozzie's been through a tough time. They had a big dip, and what was nice, the players actually came together. All the leadership group came together. Say, listen, I think it's not the coach. I think it's us. We need to fix something here. And I think they were able to do that. And we saw before the World Cup, they're starting to find the momentum again. They had a bit of a stumbling block. I remember even last year from Bombela and then at the Ellis Park as well. So I think it was a big stumbling block. His job was at Jeopardy at that time. And a lot of people were calling on Razor Robinson, the former Crusaders coach, the successful Crusaders coach, to come in. And unfortunately for him, I don't think he's allowed to be in close proximity to the side. I actually asked Walt Jordan this last week Monday, and I asked him, are you guys still in contact with him? Because we just want a clarity. And obviously he mentioned that they're not in contact with Razor, but they're very much looking forward to having Razor in the following season. So for these guys, they've obviously been through the tough times. The Springboks have been through the tough times. Both these teams have gone through the adversity. Hence why this game is going to be very tough to call. But yeah, it's going to be a wonderful game. Finley Christie, halfback. It was also Cam Roigard, but again, just I think maybe because of experience, they brought in Finley Christie in for the All Black side on the scrum off bench. So a very formidable side. So yeah.
So I picked the Springboks by 3. It means I think we'll probably have a tough time to beat the All Blacks. I just cannot bring myself to say that we're going to lose, to say it out loud or in public. But yeah, it's going to be tight. What do you think?
Yeah, no, you can't ask me this. I've been watching all these podcasts. I've been watching all these the experts who were talking about this game from Monday already. They were saying that All Blacks going to win, the Springboks going to win, and I think it will be tight. But I can't really give you the score because I always get it wrong. But what I can say is we've been playing the top 6 teams in the world at the moment. If you look at the rankings, we've played against. Well, we're going to be playing the top 6 teams if you include New Zealand this weekend. We've played against France, we played against Ireland, we played against Scotland, we played against England. So that's top 6 teams that we'll be playing up against in the World Cup. So I think we've had a tough road leading up to the final compared to the All Blacks, where they only had let's be honest, they only had 2 tough games. That was in the pool stage against France, and then again against Ireland in the quarterfinal. Other than that, it's been smooth sailing for them. So I'm assuming they're still fresh, as we saw in that semi-final game when they played against Argentina. It was one-way traffic. We did predict that obviously New Zealand's going to win, but again, it was just by how much, and it was just one run away. I think these guys are on the up. They are peaking at the right time, as you mentioned. So it's going to be a tight game. I can't really predict who's going to win this game, to be honest.
Yeah, it's going to come down to 1 or 2 moments in the match, 3 at the most.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah, and I think it's very important that the Springboks start very well. We know how, from track record, if New Zealand start very well, it's very difficult for teams to come back from that because they apply so much pressure when they have ball in hand. So I think it's very important that the Springboks start very well, put points on the board early, put scoreboard pressure. If, for example, first couple of minutes inside the 22, get a penalty, go for 3. Let's not hold back. Go for 3. Eventually, the points will add up, and then if find to the end, maybe go for kick it out. More if it doesn't work, get a penalty, 3 points. They have to be very. It's going to be very interesting how they go about the managing that penalty, and what they do if they want to kick it out or want to go for pole. So again, it's something that we've spoken about as well in the past, whereby like we can't convert that pressure when we're inside the 22. So again, it's going to be very interesting how we're going to go about things. Let's hope the Twickenham game does take effect again, deja vu for Saturday.
Oh yes, that would be nice. And absolutely 100% agree with you. Play proper test match rugby. Get the 3 points when you can, because a team like New Zealand, you've got to be 10, 12, 15 points ahead at all times, because they can score from anywhere. I think the start, yes, and then those 10 minutes either side of halfway. That's also usually when New Zealand start to pile on the pressure, when they turn up the heat and get some points, some tries in there, which they sort of surprise you, and that should be a big focus point for the Springboks, in my humble opinion. So that's that then for the men. And the women have been thoroughly beaten by Italy. They were beaten thoroughly by Italy last week, Friday, 36 points to 18. I didn't watch a lot of that game. Too much other sport going on, and work and the like. So at the moment, as we are recording this, we are playing against Samoa in Cape Town, and so we'll look forward to that result. It's a very good Italian team. I saw them playing the previous week, and they looked really good. So I would say not an altogether too bad result for the Springboks ladies there. Wish them well in their game that they're playing right now. And then that semi-final for New Zealand, Argentina, we touched a bit on that. I was really surprised. I think Argentina will be hurting. They were humiliated, and they really didn't show their true potential in that match. They were just blasted away in, I think, the first 10, 15 minutes, or New Zealand were already 2 scores ahead. And then from there, it was just downhill all the way to the final minutes. So very disappointed for Argentina's sake. So they will play England tonight at 9 o'clock on Friday, the 27th of October. And probably England, the favourites there as well.
Judging from the way they changed their team, they did change their team quite a bit. The English side, Argentina more consistent in terms of their team. leading up to the World Cup, we knew how England was. They didn't come with a lot of form. They didn't do too well in the Six Nations. They struggled against Fiji. They went about the business in the World Cup pretty down under the radar. We know why. Because they had an easier pool. Again, we mentioned the semi-final one when New Zealand beat Argentina, humiliated Argentina. In my own opinion, I think now with the way the draw was, it was very flawed. They should have done it closer to the World Cup rather than early stage of the 4-year cycle, maybe on the 3rd year. So again, it just showed, and a lot of people were having a lot of comments of how the pools were decided. The one side was much more harder than the other side, and I'm sure yourself, we predicted that the 2 teams are going to make it to the World Cup final are the teams that were either in Pool A or in Pool B. So as we saw New Zealand, South Africa in the final. But again, let's just hope that World Rugby does manage to fix this. And again, I haven't seen any statement from them regarding this matter. But yeah, it was very tough to watch that game. As a spectator who loves attractive rugby, yes, for sure, it's all fun, it's all well. But in terms of how the game was going, it just one-sided, not much into it. And I think a lot of people just switched off the TV, apparently. So, again, it was a tough one. Second semi-final
definitely most of the people watching in Argentina,
yeah. So, I'm just going back on your question, who you will take between England and Argentina. I think England will take it. I think they are hurting. They've lost quite a bit. In Argentina, we never know what Argentina does. They're very unpredictable. They've lost couple of games in the World Cup they shouldn't have lost. I'm not sure. Yeah, they lost to Wales.
They lost to England in the pool stages.
Yes.
They lost to England in the pool stages.
No, isn't it?
No.
Wales.
They
lost to Wales, isn't it?
Wales was in the pool with Fiji and Australia.
Yeah. Okay.
So they lost to England. Argentina lost to England, in their first match. Yeah. And that was also a humiliating defeat. They were also very upset with themselves after that game. So it'll be tough for them to bounce back after last week's defeat, but hopefully they can find something there. Michael Cheika can ignite something there. I'll be rooting for Argentina, but I think England will probably take it, and it might be another close game. We'll have to wait and see. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, Steve Borthwick has done it. I think he's done a very good job coming in later plates in the 4-year cycle for the England team. Australia couldn't do it, but he's done it. But again, he brought in guys who were experienced, who've done it before. He brought in Richard Wigglesworth, the former scrum half for England, well-respected player.
That's right.
Now, obviously, he's a coach. He coaches the Leicester side now, Leicester Tigers side. So again, people are well-respected. So congratulations to, and I applaud Steve Borthwick, the English coach. He's done a very good job with them. And they brought in Alan Walter as well, who was our strength conditioning coach back in 2019. So we are seeing what he said in the World Cup. He said that they're going to start to peak towards the playoffs. So as we see, they've been performing, and they nearly beat South Africa as well. So somehow South Africa managed to dig away their way out of the hole. So congrats England.
No, that's a very, very good point you made there as well. And we neglected to mention the coaching staff of England when we were talking about the semi-final that we won. But it's not easy we've seen it time and time again when there's change in the coaching staff 18, 24 months out from the World Cup. The teams don't take to that. It doesn't usually work out well. And so definitely the England coaching team, well done to them. They're playing in the final weekend, not much criticism. They just got blitzed there in the final minutes of that semi-final against us. Good luck for us, bad luck to them, and they'll definitely want that third place. I think they're going to want the third place a little bit more than Argentina, to be honest, just to prove everyone wrong, because they caught so much flack in the lead up to the World Cup, and they were the English press, as you know, are absolutely
Ruthless, yeah.
ruthless. Yeah, absolutely. Genadeloos. I don't know what the English word is. Without mercy, merciless are the English press. So hopefully they'll shut some mouths up there in farmland.
And just
WXV. Yes.
before we move on, I think we missed a valid point or talking point. Bongi Bonambi clear to play after that racial, what do you call? How can I explain the racial? Apparent
Misunderstanding.
racial, misunderstanding. So it's good to see that he's playing
Yeah.
because now we've been in very big. It would have been a very big problem if he didn't play because now we have Dion Fourie and we have Marco van Staden. So it's, so it's just be glad that he's clear to play. And just your thoughts on that one.
Well, just go to Google Translate, switch on the voice, and then translate "choose my side" from English to Afrikaans, and you'll see that there's quite a few phrases in Afrikaans that can be problematic if you say them out loud in Afrikaans. And I'm also reminded of Stephen Fry, who mentioned on Twitter after he visited South Africa that everybody was trying to sell him a donkey because everybody said buy a donkey to him over and over.
Even Spanish as well. Few phrases can be very misunderstood as well. I'm not going to mention on the podcast.
Yeah.
It was a big joke. Some guy was doing a whole TikTok thing about it. So yeah, again, it's just I think it's a big misunderstanding. And again,
lost in translation. Yeah.
And again, it just shows that we just need to educate ourselves more about maybe languages and just make ourselves better people every day and just understanding.
Yeah. So another thing that my wife mentioned to me, she saw this online somewhere where the Springboks were teasing Mbonambi, shouting at him, "Which side? What the kant? What the kant?" Which side?
Yeah, that was Fredericks, the logistics manager, the operational manager for the Springboks. He was holding the pole up to Mbonambi.
Yeah, so glad we could put that behind us, because when I heard that, I thought to myself, when I heard the allegations at first, I thought to myself, Bongi can be a little bit confrontational, but I don't think he would say that to somebody's face, he's feisty and he does get up people's noses. He does enjoy the odd confrontation off the ball, but insulting someone like that on the field is career suicide.
Yeah.
It's not professional at all. So I'm glad that the truth came out and everybody now understands that he wasn't even directing the comment at anyone. He was just shouting instructions to his own teammates. So yes, happy to put that one behind us. And then moving on, Women's 15 2023, as we mentioned, South Africa playing their last match today. And then tomorrow, which is Saturday, the 28th of October, the final match of the WXV2 in South Africa is USA versus Italy. And those are the two top-ranked teams in this WXV2. So that should be a good match to watch as well. I really liked Italy's. I saw a little bit of Italy playing against Samoa. Very fluid, very flowing rugby that they play. And then the USA ladies a bit more hard-nosed, a bit more forward-dominant. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. We still need a tagline, and I haven't had time to go on to X this week, so apologies for that. If you did send some suggestions through, thank you very much. Much appreciated. And then the URC. I'm very happy as a Bulls fan. 9 tries. Well done to them. I had very little to do with it. So that was fun to watch. And we'll have to wait and see, because the Irish teams obviously don't have their internationals back yet. The Springboks obviously also in the same situation, and it will probably be 3-4 weeks before the Boks come back into URC. So for the games for Leinster versus the Sharks, and Flanechty, I don't know how many Wales players they've got. Is it too soon to get the Irish internationals back into Leinster. Most of that Irish team plays for Leinster. We saw their second team or their younger team doing quite well. I forget who they played last week, but they looked okay.
I think they
So the Sharks
played
are taking
against
it on.
Glasgow, I think. I
Yeah,
think they played
that's
against
right.
Glasgow, so they're playing Scotland, the Leinster side, and they lost.
That's right. Yeah, they lost there. Good win there for Glasgow. I remember now. I did watch a little bit of that game, and even Leinster's young players looked pretty impressive in terms of their physicality, in terms of their conditioning, but just not gelling yet as a side. The Stormers at home to the Scarlets, that should be a win for the Stormers, unless the Scarlets have done something in the off season that I'm not aware of. Bought 7 or 8 very famous players. The Welsh side struggling. To be frank, in the past few seasons of URC, they haven't really featured at all. It's basically been between the South African and the Irish teams as to who's going to host the home quarterfinals. So the Sharks a tough one against Leinster if they get their Irish players back. If they don't, the Sharks also missing quite a few Springboks with Itzebet and Kolisi playing over there now. Number of the other players that are with the Springboks now also from the Sharks. So maybe that'll be a good idea for Leinster to bring back some of those internationals. Maybe some people who didn't play in the final game in that quarterfinal loss. Lions versus Edinburgh in Scotland, and then on Sunday the Bulls are up against Ulster. Your thoughts around the URC, and when do you bring back your international players? It's only the start of the tournament, so it's not the old problem we used to have in the Currie Cup where we had the Rugby Championship or the Tri Nations, and then by the time the Springbok players are ready to return to their provinces, to their franchises, the tournament's almost done and dusted. So still early in the season.
So again, there are players who have returned to the clubs. Just a few names from the top of my head are Dan Bigger has played a few games, or has been about to play his second game now for Racing 92. For Benetton, a few players came back as well. Just Garno, Sebastian Negri. I've just been following him because we are actually good mates. We played together at Western Province.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just touch on the games that you've at the bottom there. Stormers and Scarlets. Scarlets obviously got a bigger hiding against Bulls at Loftus last week. They did say yesterday, Scarlets in the press conference, they did say that looking to have a better performance based from last week. The Stormers side are bringing in a few loose forwards, so the loose forwards have changed quite a bit. Now Akaba comes back in. He obviously had a nerve damage in his spine, so he's had a long road to recovery. So it'll be interesting how he goes on the bench with Hachiva starting. They have a good game last week, so let's see how it does this week. The Stormers are playing in Stellenbosch, Student Town. So first 500 beers are free. 500 Powerades are free.
Wow.
So
nice.
Yeah, so let's see how the people pull up to that game. And then Leinster Sharks. Leinster lost last week to the Scottish side, and as you mentioned, they don't have basically the other Ireland team, because we know 13 or 12 out of the 15 players who started for Ireland in the quarterfinal play for Leinster, so they don't have those players. So what normally happens in Leicester program, all the guys, they normally buy players or get players from the academy. So all those players come down straight from academy playing, and then play for the senior Leinster side. These players, it's not the first time we know about these players are playing now. They played last year, I think, it's the Bulls. Remember, the Bulls were playing against the B team. I don't know if you remember people saying on Leinster B team, and they obviously played a decent game against the Bulls. The Sharks side, I spoke to who did I speak to during the week? It wasn't Joey Mongala. I spoke to Joey Mongala during the week. Awesome. When is Apio Janti going to play? Because Apio hasn't played in 4 years. We know why. I don't want to mention the thing again. So he's playing this weekend for the first time in 4 years. Apio Janti. Francois Hoogaard is playing. So again, these are big names playing for the Sharks. Let's see how they do. Unfortunately, they missed out on Reniel Yigu. He's injured, so just to change that lock. And then Edinburgh versus Lions. It's going to be a tough game for Lions side. It is a bit cold there in Scotland at the moment. It's a youthful side. We saw what they did against the Stormers, but again, it's only the first game. It's just rust, just getting where all the rust. For the Stormers side, I did predict that the Stormers were going to win, but Lions did pull it back nicely towards the end. Just guy comes in for them is Edward van der Merwe. So you should know, using your area, you should know Edward van der Merwe. He obviously from the Stormers playing very well, so he comes in for them. And then Ulster Bulls, I think it's going to be the game of the weekend for the URC. Ulster, very good side. Very cold in Ireland at the moment. They play against a Bull side, showing a lot of potential to like their potential. So it's going to be interesting how that one goes. They obviously they got good coaches. They got Jake White, who else is there? Gary Gold, and a few other big name coaches. Pio Nomlomo from the Sharks. So pedigree, coaching staff, players. They got Aka van der Merwe, the Angry Warthog on the bench. So
I enjoyed watching him play again.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
one of my favorites.
They've got a very good side. So I think they're going to go back to their former days when the Stormers faced the Bulls in their first installment of the URC final back in 2021 or 2021. Yeah, I think it was 2021.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I think we are seeing a few glimpses of the Bulls side that's used to perform. It's good to see.
Yeah, they've got a lot of Springboks playing in that team, and so they sort of managed to, I won't say recycle the old Springboks, but lure the players back to South Africa and to get players back into the Bulls team that might be sort of out of favor with the current Springbok selection, just not being at that level anymore or close to it, just on the fringes. But they managed to get a good squad together, so I'm very, very happy for that. So I can wear my Bull shirt on Sunday and see if we can get one of the Irish there in Ulster, over the Ulstermen. Thank you so much, Nathan, once again. Thank you, everybody, for listening. That's the end of this one for us. And, any final thoughts? Yes, it's going to be a very nice rugby Saturday afternoon there, except for probably watch the Leinster Sharks game and just swap over to the Edinburgh Lions one in between, and then that'll finish off just as the build-up starts for the big game on the big final tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Any final thoughts from your side?
No, I think just touching on the World Cup final. Looking forward to that game. It's going to be nail biting. The URC, all the games looking forward to. I'll be watching the Storm and Scarlets game, and you mentioned the Leinster Sharks. Then the game of the week, I think Ulster Bulls. So it's going to be tough and a tight game for all those 5 games. 4 games. Sorry. So it's going to be a very good games to watch. So looking forward to those as well.
Thank you so much once again. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you in Crash Ball 10 and hopefully 9 o'clock on Saturday, the 28th. Cheers.
Cheers.